A voltage drop where a dryer turns on causing lights to dim suggests several potential issues. While the panel showing no signs of overheating or damage is good, the drop from 120 volts to 114 volts and 240 volts to 230 volts with the dryer running indicates a problem. One primary suspect is the power company's transformer. Dryers draw significant current. If the transformer is undersized, aged, or experiencing issues, it may struggle to maintain proper voltage under the increased load. Firstly, contact the power company. Request they check the voltage at the transformer while the dryer is running. A low voltage reading at the transformer itself confirms this is the source of the problem. They would then need to investigate further, potentially replacing or upgrading the transformer. However, do not rule out other possible causes within the home's electrical system. Secondly, inspect all electrical connections. Loose or corroded connections anywhere in the circuit from the panel to the dryer outlet and even within the dryer itself create resistance. This increased resistance impedes current flow and causes a voltage drop. Visually inspect all connections for signs of corrosion, looseness, or damage. Tighten any loose connections securely. If corrosion is present, clean the connections thoroughly and apply an anti-corrosion compound before reassembling. Thirdly, consider the wiring. Undersized wiring is a common culprit in older homes or when new high-power appliances are installed without upgrading the electrical service. The wiring must be adequately sized to handle the dryer's current draw without excessive voltage drop. Check the wire gauge of the circuit serving the dryer. Consult the National Electrical Code, NEC Table 310.15, B16, formerly Table 310.16, to determine the appropriate wire size for the circuit's amperage rating and the wire's insulation type. If the wiring is undersized, it will need to be replaced with a larger gauge wire. This is a job for a qualified electrician. Fourthly, examine the dryer itself. A faulty dryer can draw excessive current even beyond its normal operating range. This could be due to a malfunctioning heating element, a failing motor, or other internal component failures. To test this, unplug the dryer completely and then measure the voltage at the panel while other appliances are running. If the voltage returns to normal with the dryer disconnected, it strongly suggests the dryer is the source of the problem. Further testing of the dryer's components by a qualified appliance repair technician is then recommended. Let's consider some other factors that can contribute to voltage drop. Firstly, the distance from the transformer to the house can play a role. Longer distances mean more wire, and more wire equals more resistance. If the house is located far from the transformer, the voltage drop may be more pronounced, especially under heavy load. Secondly, the overall load on the transformer at any given time can affect the voltage. If many houses on the same transformer are drawing a lot of power simultaneously, the transformer may become overloaded, leading to a voltage drop for everyone connected to it. This is more likely to occur during peak hours, such as in the evenings when people are home and using appliances. Thirdly, consider the possibility of a neutral wire issue. A loose or corroded neutral connection can cause imbalances in the voltage between the two legs of the 240 volt supply. This can manifest as flickering lights, dimming, or even appliance malfunction. It's important to have a qualified electrician check the neutral connections at the panel, the meter, and the transformer. Now let's discuss some troubleshooting steps in more detail. Firstly, use a multimeter to measure the voltage at various points in the circuit while the dryer is running. Measure the voltage at the panel, at the dryer outlet, and at the service entrance. This will help you pinpoint where the voltage drop is occurring. Secondly, use an amp clamp to measure the current draw of the dryer. This will tell you how much current the dryer is actually drawing and whether it's within the normal range. Compare the measured current to the dryer's nameplate rating. Thirdly, visually inspect the breaker for the dryer circuit in the panel. Look for any signs of damage, overheating, or loose connections. Make sure the breaker is properly seated in the panel. Fourthly, check the grounding system. A proper grounding system is essential for electrical safety and can also help to prevent voltage drops. Make sure the grounding electrode conductor is properly connected to the ground rod or water pipe. Fifthly, if you suspect a problem with the wiring, have a qualified electrician perform a voltage drop test. This test will measure the voltage drop along the entire length of the circuit and identify any areas where the voltage drop is excessive. Remember that working with electricity can be dangerous. If you are not comfortable performing these troubleshooting steps yourself, it's best to call a qualified electrician. They have the training, experience, and tools to diagnose and repair electrical problems safely and effectively. In addition to the points already mentioned, it is important to consider the age of the electrical system. Older electrical systems may have deteriorated wiring, outdated components, and inadequate capacity to handle the demands of modern appliances. If the electrical system is old, it may be necessary to upgrade it to meet current standards. This could involve replacing the panel, upgrading the wiring, and installing new outlets and fixtures. Upgrading the electrical system can improve the safety and reliability of the electrical system and prevent future problems. When dealing with electrical issues, safety should always be the top priority. Always turn off the power to the circuit before working on any electrical components. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and gloves. If you are unsure about any aspect of the work, consult with a qualified electrician. Let's elaborate further on checking the wire size. The wire gauge is typically printed on the cable's outer jacket. You'll see something like 12V-2 with ground or 10-3 with ground. The first number indicates the wire gauge, and the second number indicates the number of current carrying conductors. The ground wire is not included in the conductor count. Once you've identified the wire gauge, consult the NEC Table 310.15, the 16, formerly Table 310.16, to determine the ampacity of the wire. The ampacity is the maximum amount of current the wire can safely carry. The ampacity depends on the wire gauge, the insulation type, and the ambient temperature. Make sure the wire's ampacity is greater than or equal to the circuit's breaker rating. For example, a 20-amp circuit typically requires 12-gauge wire with THHN insulation. A 30-amp circuit typically requires 10-gauge wire with THHN insulation. If the wire is undersized, it will overheat and potentially cause a fire. Therefore, it is crucial to ensure that the wiring is properly sized for the circuit's load. Let's also discuss the importance of proper grounding. The grounding system provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip the breaker and prevent electrical shock. The grounding system consists of the grounding electrode conductor, the grounding electrode, and the equipment grounding conductors. The grounding electrode conductor connects the neutral bus in the panel to the grounding electrode. The grounding electrode is typically a ground rod or a metal water pipe. The equipment grounding conductors connect the metal enclosures of electrical equipment to the grounding system. Make sure all grounding connections are tight and secure. Check the grounding electrode conductor for corrosion or damage. If the grounding system is not properly installed or maintained, it can increase the risk of electrical shock and fire. Therefore, it is essential to ensure that the grounding system is in good condition. If you're checking connections, pay close attention to the terminals where the wires connect to the breakers, the outlets, and the appliances. These are common points of failure. Use a screwdriver to tighten the screws on the terminals. Make sure the wires are securely held in place. If you find any loose wires, restrip the insulation and retighten the connection. Also, look for signs of arcing or burning around the terminals. Arcing is a sign of a loose connection that is causing electricity to jump across the gap. Burning is a sign of excessive heat that is damaging the wire or the terminal. If you find any signs of arcing or burning, replace the damaged components. It's also a good idea to check the voltage at the outlet while the dryer is running. Use a multimeter to measure the voltage between the hot wire and the neutral wire. The voltage should be close to 120 volts. If the voltage is significantly lower than 120 volts, it indicates a voltage drop in the circuit. The voltage drop should not exceed 3% of the supply voltage. In other words, for a 120-volt circuit, the voltage drop should not exceed 3.6 volts. If the voltage drop is greater than 3.6 volts, it indicates a problem with the wiring or the connections. In summary, troubleshooting a voltage drop problem requires a systematic approach. Start by checking the power company's transformer. Then inspect all electrical connections, wiring, and the dryer itself. Use a multimeter and an amp clamp to measure voltage and current. Consult the NEC for wire sizing and grounding requirements. If you're not comfortable working with electricity, call a qualified electrician.